It's kind of crazy to see like the normal houses facing this wall, completely separating the city in two. It's incredible.
Yeah. Hello everybody, we're here in Belfast. I'm Oban.
And I'm Adrian.
And we're here to speak about this city here in Northern Ireland. So as you can see, like, we're right behind the peace walls. Whether that they're dedicated for peace or not, you can make your own opinion. Watch until the end of the video and tell us what you think in the comments below.
The city is very segregated. It's very easy to tell in what part of the city you are. While the city center is considered a neutral zone where both communities are going to mix, in the living areas, they just don't mix up that much. Here we are in the Irish part of the city. You can tell quite easily because you will see Irish flags and Palestinian flags, quite a lot of it. Whereas if you go to the British side, you will see Union Jack and a lot of Loyalists flags as well. What you see behind me is the peace wall. So the city is that divided that they have a 6-meter wall in the middle of the city that they close at night. Another very easy way to tell we are in the Irish part of the city is that the name of the roads are written both in English and in Irish. They keep it as a reminder of their heritage, even though the Irish language has basically disappeared from this part of the country. Every houses and every street are covered with murals and flags everywhere. The person you see behind me painted on that wall is Bobby Sands. He was part of the IRA. Depending on who you ask, he could be described as a freedom fighter or as a terrorist. He ended up thrown in the jail after being arrested for owning a gun. He also tried to participate in the blowing up of a furniture shop. It was a very common practice during the Troubles. In order to be recognized as a political opponent, he participated in a hunger strike. For 66 days, he stopped eating, and he ended up dying in jail in order to be recognized as one of the political fighters of Ireland. This is how he became a political prisoner, and this is the reason why you can see him everywhere in the city, which has Irish allegiance. So that's the peace wall here, right?
Yeah.
So this thing is getting closed at 8:30. So like basically this is the British area and this was the Irish one, yeah?
Yeah. And like, you can see a massive difference, like all of a sudden is going to be pro-British now.
As soon as you cross the peace wall, you will see immediately appearing pro-British sentiments and flags, Union Jacks and flags of Scotland and the UVF.
Welcome to Shankill Road. Here I'm in front of a UVF mural. UVF stands for the Ulster Volunteer Force. The Ulster Volunteer Force, it was a paramilitary organisation on paper made to protect Protestant communities against IRA violence, but them themselves were also very involved in a lot of violence themselves, with bombing, drug trafficking, a lot of violence themselves, kidnapping in some situations, which often included torture. I'm here in front of the Rangers Supporters Club in Shankill Road, one of the main Protestant, Unionist, Loyalist areas here in Belfast. And so the thing is, for the people who are not acquainted with the whole situation, you've got Celtic, which is like a Catholic, Irish sympathy football club in Glasgow, not here in Northern Ireland but in Scotland. And then you've got Rangers, which is very pro-British, made as a kind of bit of a reaction towards that very strong Irish identity. So the Rangers, they often shout like, "We are the people," and speaking about how that their voice is actually the real voice of the Scottish people, of the Unionist people in Northern Ireland. And so that you can actually see that a lot of the Irish side will support a team called Celtic, and then on the British side that they'll normally support a team called Rangers. So yeah, here on Shankill Road, there's even a saying in the UK about this place that the Northern Irish, they're more British than the British. And so you got like all of these Unionist murals here, especially like in relation to the Queen, the King, also about a lot of the empire that happened back in the day. But also like over there, you've got William of Orange that led the campaign against the Irish, 12th of July that's still celebrated to this day. We're going to go to a pub right now where a lot of paramilitaries have drunk back in the day. These days, of course, like paramilitaries have predominantly laid down their arms. But yeah, a lot of these pubs are still open. Some of them have been blown up, some of them have closed, but quite a lot are still open. But here in the rec spot, even like between certain unionist paramilitary organizations, sometimes there were even squabbles between the UDA and UVF, and that there were even problems between different paramilitary organizations. A lot of people here defend the paramilitary organizations, that they would get things done way quicker than the police. A big misconception that I think that a lot of people have is that a lot of Northern Irish people say like, I hate the paramilitaries, etc. But they didn't get parachuted in. At the end of the day, like, they are people that were born and bred here in Northern Ireland, in Belfast, in London, Derry, or Derry, depending on your opinion. And at the end of the day, they did come from here. It's a product of the situation which had happened here.
British beer. Yeah, not the best, but it's okay.
I'm British and I'm telling you, British beer is disgusting. I'm drinking Carlsberg. Like, no.
So we were just drinking a pint in this pub, and then we realized just now that we leave it, that the place was bombed by the IRA in '75. 5 people died here in this pub. It really goes to show just how intense everything is. You cannot go to a pub, or you cannot even cross a road without having a reminder that there was a war here, and that people died very often in bombings, in shootings, and everything is going to remind you of it all the time. Inside of these pubs, it was full of guns and pictures of people who died during the First World War, because Ulster, the region where we are here, provided a lot of people who went to fight for England during the First World War. What you see here is a park, which is a whole reminder and a whole memorial for the people who died during this conflict, with all the puppies.
Yeah, man, like to be honest, like at the start of it, I didn't really see that many Israel flags, but especially in this area of Shankill, there's Israel flags everywhere. There's even IDF flags around.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have there Israel flag. Those green flags you see there are flags of the IDF.
The Israel Defense Force.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we're here in Shankill Road, and we're in a very weird place. So you can see it's just a normal ATM right behind us. But yeah, on 1993, 23rd of October, one of the really big events happened of the Troubles. So this cash machine, it used to be a fish shop over here, and the biggest problem was that actually above this fish shop, that there was a big rumor, probably true, we're not exactly sure, but that the UVF headquarters was above it. So the IRA blew up this fish shop, including one of themselves and 9 other people.
So again, because the city is really full of historical artifacts, this mural you see here is a commemoration of the people who died in the bombing, and this is the date when it happened and the exact time when the bomb exploded.
So like when you actually look at the conflict, and you actually see like a lot of the divides between like Protestant, Catholic, Irish, British, something that's often not looked at to the same extent that maybe it should be is the level of poverty. So it is one of the poorest areas in not only the United Kingdom but also in Western Europe. So like things like these closed shops, abandoned buildings, they're quite common to see here, especially in like Shankill and Falls Road, like in certain areas of Belfast. And so we can also see that in richer areas you have way less of a divide between like British and Irish, and that's also why that in the city centre there's way less of a problematic area, because it's a neutral zone, right? Money talks. People want to make money. You don't care where your customers are from. So yeah, I think when you're walking around here, you can actually see the poverty in the area, and you can really relate it to how that contributes to the divide between different communities. while the situation has been very intense in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s, after the Good Friday Agreement in 1998, things have gotten a lot better. And so here you can see a very good example of that. So we can see here on the peace wall here in Belfast, people have the opportunity to write messages of hope, of love, of sharing, of compassion. And so we can actually see that the situation is getting better. It's nowhere near as bad as it was. While we still have a long way to go, that things are getting better, and a lot of people here believe that we're going in the right direction.